Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back. And this is going to be our final video in the course. But I'm going to leave you with such a gift. You are going to be so happy that we created this for you. So last night I was brainstorming when I was thinking to myself, how could I create a KPI tracker and like a scorecard so my clients and these cold callers can know exactly how they are performing compared to some national averages that we have at lead mining. So here's what I came up with. I came up with this amazing spreadsheet, and I'm going to give it to all of you because the last step in the cold calling process is making sure you track your KPIs. So I made it very easy on you guys to track your own KPIs. Let me get this pulled up in the background real quick here. All right. So I created this amazing spreadsheet last night. It was literally like 1 in the morning, mad scientist style, and I am super proud of it. I've done a couple of things here. One, I divided up into 4 weeks: one, two, three, and four. Now, I want you guys to enter only the columns that are in yellow. Do not touch the columns that are in green. These are automatically programmed. So as you update these numbers, these will automatically populate. Now, the next thing is I created a grading system down below. Okay, so down here, you guys can actually grade yourselves and see how you're matching up compared to our national averages at lead mining. So let's take a look. Week one, we worked for 3 hours. We made 375 calls, 30 people picked up, two leads were generated, three people told us that we had a wrong number. Now let's look at the breakdown. And I'm going to grade this first one live with you guys. And what I want you to do is I want you grading A, the other ones for practice and understanding, and B, grading yourself and your team every week so you can know where you stand and what you need to focus on. Now, contact rate, 8%. Now, where's that? Right here, 8%. That's a C. Okay. Accuracy rate, 90%. Bam, that's an A. Dials per hour, 125. Let's see, dials per hour. That's actually an F. That means we're moving a little slow. And then we have dials per lead at 187. Okay, now I do not, let's see, I'm sorry, leads per hour is 0.67, which is basically right between a D and a C. So we're going to give that a D. Now, the way a couple of these things work that I'll just share with you guys, these are not hard numbers. You're going to find your own numbers. This is how I would grade my team. Okay, now we're professional. We do this for all of our clients. We've been in business for 8 years. So I might be a little bit more strict with my grading. But when you track your own numbers, you will find your own averages and how your numbers perform. But I just did this based off of my knowledge and what I like to see. Now, looking back at this, our contact rate's a C. That means it's average, right? Our accuracy rate is A, which means that's amazing. And then our leads per hour, dials per hour being an F. So normally on a triple line dialer, you want to be at about a minimum of 150 dials per hour. Now, it's not bad if it drops below that, right? Maybe it means you got more leads. Maybe it means there was something wrong with your list. Maybe it means you got distracted and you said you were calling for an hour, but it was actually only 30 minutes and you got up to use the bathroom, right? So it could be any number of things, could be the dials per hour, but this is just an important guideline for you. Next up, we have leads per hour. So our leads per hour, this is how I gauge all of my employees' performance. I want everyone on my team at a minimum to have a zero point 0.5 lead per hour or greater if they're going to be on my team. Okay. I don't even let my cold callers work for me if they have less than that. So F means failed, right? And so right here, we made it. We're good. 0.67 actually is not that bad. But again, I am hard on my people, right? Now, what 0.67 means is basically that they're getting 67% of a lead per hour, which really isn't bad. That is about 1.5 every 2 hours, okay? Again, these are not bad numbers. I am a little tough when it comes to my grading, but you know what happens when you have high standards, people meet them. So I like having high standards. You guys can adjust these numbers to however you'd like, but this is just the baseline I wanted to deliver to you. Now, dials per lead, I do not have a grading system here for you. And that's because this is going to change based off of your campaign, off of your list, off of your market, right? That is all going to happen here. So dials per lead is going to be a little bit harder to gauge. So I left that blank, but this is just for our personal knowing. We need to know how many dials per lead we are getting. Now, with land investing, at lead mining, we average a lead in about every 100 to 350 dials per lead. Okay. But you're going to want to gauge that on your own to see how your team does. But I decided not to put a grading there only because I don't want people focused on the wrong parts here. If all the other numbers fall in line, you're going to be getting leads, and that's what's important. However, this is a very important number to track. And we talked about all these numbers in the previous video. So, guys, I want you to take a copy of the spreadsheet, update it every week, and make sure that you are tracking your own progress and grading yourself. If you have an employee, make sure you're grading them. It is extremely important that we measure everything that's happening so we know where we need to improve upon. And there's a couple other little hidden nuggets in here. Let me go back to the screen share. So let's say our accuracy rate is an A. What does that mean? That means our skip tracing is awesome. That's what that means. Let's say our contact rate is a C. What does that mean? That means that maybe there's a chance that if we have some better practices with phone numbers and using our dialer, that we could make that a little bit better. Dials per hour, an F. Okay. What does that mean? Well, like I said, maybe we got up and we went to the bathroom earlier. Maybe we got a lot of leads. The more leads you get, the lower your dials are going to be for that hour. Because if you're on the phone for 10 minutes, you're going to be dialing less naturally, right? So you're going to see some of these fluctuations for yourself. And then leads per hour is basically your effectiveness, right? How many leads are you generating for yourself per hour? So you're going to be able to gauge and see, wow, okay, this is how I did. And you're going to see whether there's room for improvement or whether you're crushing it. And that is what is important. If we don't know where we stand, we do not know how to improve. So I want you to take all this knowledge that we've talked about over this course now. All right. We talked about how to have the right mindset. We talked about how to cover the script, how to do all the rebuttals, what software you should be using, all the good stuff. Okay. And now I've given you a KPI tracker and a grading system to also make sure that you are at your peak performance or at least on the way to it. But guys, I hope you had a great time watching this course. I know I did. Big shout out to the Apke brothers over there at Land Portal. I appreciate you guys so much for giving me this opportunity to custom create this course, especially for you. All right, guys. Hope you have a good one and check us out, leadminingpros.com. I'll see you.